everyone. Dark Ramos here from the Volume Profile Nerd. This is going to be a quick introductory video to this YouTube channel and what you can expect from this YouTube channel. So mostly I teach trading using Volume Profile, and I currently trade mostly the micros of the ES and NQ contracts, but Volume Profile can be applied across multiple assets. So I'll just give a quick overview. We'll go through these slides, and just to give an overview of the YouTube channel and what you can expect. All right, so the first slide, what is Volume Profile? So I've taken this blurb from James Dalton's website, and James Dalton is pretty much the pioneer of the market profile, and Volume Profile is similar to the market profile. The only differences being that market profile uses TPOs, which are these kind of letters to also measure time, where volume profile just measures price and volume and looks for kind of high volume nodes at specific prices. And I'll explain that in a bit more detail in the following slides. But I wanted to read this blurb here from James Dalton. He's been trading for about 30 years. And he kind of pioneered the market profile and kind of visualizing the market using the market profile. So I'll read it here. And it says, the market profile is a unique charting tool that enables traders to observe the two-way auction process that drives all market movement, the ebb and flow of price over time, in a way that reveals patterns in herd behavior. Put another way, the profile is simply a constantly developing graphic that records and organizes auction data. Scientists from all fields analyze information using the time-tested bell curve. The profile is based on the same principles. It compares price, the variable, on the vertical axis, to time, the constant, on the horizontal axis, in order to create a distribution over the course of any trading day. Whether you're trading ETFs, stocks, or futures, this time-sensitive, ever-evolving database provides real-time insight into the forces shaping market activity. So one thing that James Dalton kind of reiterates a lot is the following. Price advertises opportunity. There's a clear distinction between price and value. Time regulates all advertised opportunities, and volume measures the success or failure of these advertised opportunities. So you might hear me repeat this a lot. If you listen to James Dalton, he does talk a lot about this. But basically, we're trading value instead of price. So where is value relative to a previous structure, or where is value relative to yesterday? Is value moving higher, or is value moving lower? And we measure that using the volume profile in this case, where we look at specific structures and look at 70% of the volume was traded, and the point of control, or POC, which is or the fairest price to do business, where most of the volume was traded during that session. It's kind of looking at, rather than trading price, we're looking at the market as a two-way auction. And there's different auctions on different time frames. So this does occur on every time frame, and the volume profile just lets us measure, or helps us look at where is value moving higher or lower within the two-way auction process. All right, so I'll segue into who I am. So my name is John, also known as Dark Ramos, and I got that name from the trading community that I'm a part of, the chart guys, and it's kind of an inside joke, but it kind of stuck. So I go by Dark Ramos. I've been learning about trading for almost 2 years now. I started with crypto and quickly realized that I had no idea what I was doing. Soon after, I joined a trading community called the Chart Guys and learned about price action analysis and indicators by Dan, who is the main teacher at the Chart Guys. A few months later, I didn't find much success with just using indicators, and I wanted to know more about the markets and market structure. This is when another teacher at the Chart Guys, Lamont, started teaching more about volume profile. So I quickly gravitated towards this style and dove headfirst into it. I just spent a lot of hours with it. I really enjoyed it and started using it and learning about it more every day. The idea that I could look at different structures in the market on different time frames and that price would react pretty well to these structures was pretty astonishing to me and kind of made me want to learn more about it. I started following Lamont closely and trying to learn as much as I could to try and replicate what he was teaching. After a few months, I started reviewing the market in the morning and was able to pretty closely replicate Lamont's morning overview. At the time of sharing this, I am not yet a consistently profitable trader, so just full transparency, and I am currently trying to prove myself to a prop firm. I have gotten better and have realized that most of my improvement is around psychological things like having patience, not over trading, and letting the trade come to me rather than searching for trades. I feel my technicals are pretty good at the moment. I'm not sure if I'll stick with the prop firm, but that's where I am at this time. My hopes are that with sharing my technical analysis and giving a market overview each day, I will become a more proficient trader. At this time, I'm not interested in starting a community, and I'm only looking to share information. All right, so just a quick overview of myself. I started with crypto, got into the chart guys, and started learning from Dan, and then learned a lot from Lamont. And here I am, really geeked about volume profile, and looking to share to share my methods and to share how I approach volume profile and the markets. So influences. So my influences. The main influence for my specific style is Lamont from the Chart Guys. I still reference his methods and approach via the Chart Guys community. Lamont also mentions a few other teachers like James Dalton and Peter Vesnicek from Shadow Trader. James Dalton teaches market profile, which is a variation of volume profile using TPOs to measure time, price, and opportunity, while volume profile only uses price and volume. And I kind of use the bar charts to kind of gauge how much time is spent at a specific range, and that gives me an idea for time as well. So Lamont and Peter use a combination of market and volume profile along with price action analysis, market internals, and pattern recognition. I consider myself as more like Lamont and Peter and use a combination of volume profile, internals, price action analysis, and pattern recognition. I don't use market profile or TPOs as much as that requires the TPO indicator, which not many platforms provide yet, and I have become accustomed to just using volume. For my purposes and from what I've seen from the markets, volume is sufficient for my analysis, and I find it works very well along with the concepts James Dalton teaches about market profile. So if you're interested in James Dalton's teachings, I highly recommend it. I listen to James Dalton almost every day. He does have a YouTube channel, which I'll share probably in another video, but you can just, search James Dalton trading and it should come up. And yeah, he talks about his approach to market profile and the different things he looks at, which I'll be covering a lot in my videos as well. But James Dalton covers a lot of great information. Okay, so what do I trade? I trade mostly ESNNQ and specifically the micros. The minis are 10 times the leverage of the micros. So the micros go by MES and MNQ. So yeah, I pretty much, I watch ESNNQ and then I trade the micros in Trade Ovate. At some point I am looking to trade the minis, but just taking it slow and developing my system and style with the micros. And sometimes I'll dabble in the minis if I have high conviction in a play, but it's very high risk, so I usually stick to the micros. I also watch all the major sectors, so SPY, QQQ, XLF, IWM, XLV, XBI, XLE, XLU, and SMH, just to see if there's rotation going on in the market, if money's leaving the market, or if money's coming into the market. And that watching the different sectors just helps me do that. I also watch the major tech names, so Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Meta, Google, Microsoft, Tesla and NVDA in no particular order, but I do have them in my watch list in a specific order. And that just helps me see rotation within tech, or if money is coming into tech, into the big tech names like specifically Apple and Amazon, then that'll help me get a reference for if QQQ is a stronger sector on the day. So QQQ could be going up, but let's say XLF and XLV are going down, that means rotation. Or if all sectors, all the major sectors are going up, that's money coming into the market. Or if all sectors are going down, money is leaving the market. So just watching tech helps me gauge who's potentially stronger. Is it QQQ leading the market, or is QQQ leading the way down? Because QQQ is about 27 at the time of me recording this video. QQQ is about, or technology is about 27% of the broader market, SPY. So usually buyers want QQQ to lead and sellers want QQQ to lead. Buyers want QQQ to lead to the upside and sellers want QQQ to lead to the downside. That's a pretty general statement, or kind of a broader statement in a way. There's more nuances to it, I feel. And these are things that I'll be covering in my video, but that's a pretty good rule of thumb, I feel. And if SPY is the stronger sector, I'll want to play ES long. And if QQQ is the stronger sector, I'll play ES long, and maybe I'll play NQ long and maybe ES short, and vice versa. So I know I covered a lot there, but that's why I look at the different sectors in tech, just to look for rotation and see where money is going and where money might be leaving, type of thing. So, and where I want to go long and where I want to go short. But yeah, I'll cover that in greater detail in my videos. So the indicators that I use the visible range volume profile, the session volume profile, the fixed range volume profile, RSI, and volume. And I use TradingView to chart, and then I trade in Trade08. So I'll go over my indicators in another video, but just wanted to give a quick overview of the indicators that I use. Along with volume profile, I use day time frame references, and this is a big piece of my trading, and James Dalton talks a lot about it. Lamont talks about it. I think Peter talks about it as well. But these day time frame references, they allow me to sequence relative to where buyers and sellers should be trying to get to, as buyers and sellers have to get above or below these levels in order to advance and prove that they are edging out the other side. So these daytime references are the overnight high, overnight low, regular trading hours high, regular trading hours low, previous day close, previous day value area high, previous day point of control, and previous day value area. And I also use developing value and developing POC on the specific day, and also on larger balances that might be occurring at that time. So just wanted to quickly mention these daytime frame references, as I'll be mentioning them a lot. I'll be using the abbreviations, but I will go over my morning prep and how I use these daytime frame references in another video as well. It's just a quick overview of them here. So how do I use volume profile? The following is how I use volume profile in conjunction with daytime frame references to sequence effectively and see where buyers and sellers might be trying to get to. So first I start with sequencing with the daily and hourly ranges or balances. Then I look at day-to-day volume profiles. Then I look at day time frame references. So what I just mentioned: overnight high, overnight low, regular trading hours high, regular trading hours low, previous day close, and then value from the previous day to see what buyers and sellers need to do in order to advance, and what they should be trying to do relative to how we open. And that's good information. I also use the open, which I actually didn't mention. It's a very big piece to the daytime frame reference. Where do we open on the day? Are buyers above the open? Are sellers or are we below the open? And that's good information to see who's edging out, because during the intraday market, if we're above the open, buyers are usually edging out there. If we're below, then sellers are edging out. and they should be targeting specific daytime references below, and vice versa for buyers should be targeting daytime frame references above to start advancing and start proving that they're edging out, the other side. So I also use shorter term time frame references for confluence, and that's looking at the 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute for specific ranges that could align with larger time frame ranges, like the hourly or the daily, and that provides confluence for me for like maybe a play I'm looking for on the morning to see if it sets up, and then I can decide if it's high conviction and if I want to take that specific trade. So my morning preparation, this is what I do every morning, and I'll be recording a video of my morning prep. So the first thing I do is I adjust the day time frame reference levels. So all the day time frame references I mentioned before. Then I sequence on the daily time frame with volume profile, and then I sequence on the hourly time frame with volume profile. Then I look for shorter term time frame ranges, the 15-minute, 5-minute, and 1-minute. Like I mentioned, for confluence of maybe larger time frame areas and high volume areas on the larger time frames. Then I review sectors in tech to see where we stand prior to the open, if specific sectors are weaker or stronger, and same with tech, if specific tech names are weaker or stronger. And I look at what indice, ESR and Q, is the relatively weaker or stronger. And this just helps me paint a picture on the morning for where we are at that moment and what needs to change in order for where we are to change. If I explained that correctly, or I think I did, but these are things that will all start to make sense in my later videos. It's kind of just getting a snapshot of where we are and then painting a picture. What would it look like if buyers or sellers started doing specific things? And that helps me kind of set up a play, maybe either that morning or later in the day after, more volume comes in, more price action. And then I start to see, okay, buyers should be trying to get here or sellers should be trying to get here. And based on that, and I usually look at the larger time frames to see where buyers and sellers are trying to get to. And based on that, I might take a trade if it sets up. And I'll talk about my kind of how I approach taking specific trades as well. After I do all that, I do write a rundown. So I write it, I have a document where I write down the rundown, and I post it in the community as well. Then I formulate a long thesis and why I have that long thesis, and I formulate a short thesis and why I'm formulating the short thesis. On some mornings, I don't always formulate a thesis if it's not super clear, and I wait for the morning to develop to then, call an audible or, set up a play while the market is going. Okay, so that's what my morning looks like. Again, this will all become clear as I post more videos. Okay, so what can you expect from this YouTube channel? So what you can expect each day from the Volume Profile Nerd is a morning preparation video where I go over the rundown I just did. So usually I'm done with my rundown. I'm in Central Time, but I'll use Eastern. I'm usually done with my rundown by 8:30 Eastern. And so that means I'll probably post a video probably around 8:45 or 9 Eastern, because I'll make a quick video of the rundown and what I'm looking at for the morning. So I'll post that video. And then after the market closes, I'll do a rundown recap to see, what happened relative to what I wrote and what I thought could happen, and my trade review. And I'll talk about where, if the day went well or if it didn't, I'll talk about what I could improve upon. And I'll also talk about what I think I did well, so that I can continuously, continue to improve, or I can continue to improve. Okay. So that's what you can expect from the Volume Profile Nerd. This YouTube channel will evolve over time, but I just wanted to get started and just focus on these two things. And and it'll grow, it'll change, it'll evolve. But, got to start somewhere. And this is where I'm starting here with the Volume Profile Nerd. Okay, so do I have a community other than a YouTube community at this point? Which, not even, because I just started. I don't have a community. Yeah, so as of now, I do not have a community for members to join. My goal is to just share information in hopes that someone finds benefit from what I'm sharing and to improve as a trader. If there are enough that find value in what I am sharing and I am able to find consistency myself, I will then consider the idea of a trading community centered around, using volume profile and the methods I am sharing in my videos. So it could be down the line, but for now, I'm just here to share information, stay consistent with the information that I'm sharing, hold myself accountable each day with the videos that I post. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for the volume profile nerd. I welcome any questions as I do my videos. I will be posting a video showcasing the indicators that I use and how I have it set up and how I have my chart set up. And I'll also post another video on day time frame references, and and I'll do a general like an overall video of how I approach volume profile and give clear examples. But a lot of that I'll also show in my morning prep and in my rundown recap and trade review. So I'm excited. If you're into trading, if you're new to trading and you kind of are looking for a method, I personally couldn't recommend volume profile enough because I've tried a few other methods and they weren't quite for me, but I felt volume profile really resonated with me, and just looking at different levels and structures in the market and how price reacts to it. So another way of saying it is it's like supply and demand. Where do we have a supply zone and a demand zone? And using volume and structures, you can kind of gauge those different supply and demand zones on different time frames, and you can start to get a sense for where buyers and sellers could be trying to get to based on volume, based on where a lot of volume was traded and where there's high volume nodes. So yeah, I really love it. It's not that much based on indicators, so I don't use indicators that much, like EMAs or moving averages or things like that, or exponential moving averages. It's mostly just looking at the market, looking at structures, looking at supply and demand, and trying to seeing where buyers and sellers could be trying to get to on a larger time frame, then zooming into the smaller time frames and kind of setting up things around that. There are nuances, there are trades that I do look for, and I'll be covering all that in this YouTube channel. So yeah, if you're interested and you want to kind of come along for the ride or watch me as I teach this and develop my own trading, welcome. And yeah, I welcome any questions as I'm going along. And I'm open to answering questions and kind of clearing things up in all the videos that I post, so that it comes off, so that it's clearly communicated. And I'm happy to answer questions as I go along. Okay, so yeah, that last one was long-winded, but just wanted to be transparent and kind of open up this channel to learning and sharing. So yeah, that is the volume profile nerd. Thank you for watching. I'll be posting my next video shortly. The next video will be a demonstration of the indicators I use and how I use volume profile. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.